Here we are again. Another writing video. This one is a special Friday one. I'm getting a lot of really, really great ideas from people who are watching, from subscribers, and they keep sending me ideas. But you know what? I'm gonna get way behind if I'm only doing 2 of these weeks. So I'm gonna do a third every now and then, maybe once a month. Who can say? I'll also add a Friday one. I used to do Friday ones as well. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, I do a writing video. Um, Basically, whenever I get to it, whenever I put it up and get it going. So sometimes it's at 11 in the morning. Sometimes it's 5 at night. Who can say? I mean, I can say, but I'm busy. I got other things going on. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into this week's topic, I want to thank everybody for hitting the subscribe button. I want to thank everybody for making comments. Obviously, I want to thank everybody for giving me these ideas. Somebody gave me this idea. I don't know who. I'm sure somebody will take credit for it. I don't know if they gave me this idea or not. Sometimes I get ideas from a couple different people. It's the same idea, roughly. And I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And again, I don't write anybody's name down. And I'm like, oh, remember. And then never remember. I want to thank everybody for watching 30 seconds or more of the ads as well. That always helps. That helps us get paid. That's why we're here. We're all here to make money, aren't we? Isn't this how the world works? Yeah. Anyway, how I deal with my writing superstitions. Now I just could have this like maybe a 5-minute video. But I'm not superstitious. I ain't superstitious. And then cue the song. I ain't superstitious. Maybe even the Megadeth version. Who knows? But I can't afford that. I'm not. You guys aren't watching enough ads yet. So we're not going to do that. Play it in your head. I am very superstitious with stuff. And writing is one of those things that I am also. I've always been superstitious about. So here's the thing that I always do when I'm reading, okay? Just, it needs to be part of your writing journey. While I am reading, if I am on a page, if I get to a page, I'm like, I'm going to read tonight, and I get to page 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, so on and so forth, I will usually stop there, okay? Or I will go, hey, I'm on page 241. I'm just going to read to page 250 tonight. Doesn't matter if it's the middle of a chapter. Don't matter if it's the beginning of a chapter. Don't matter if I have one page left of the chapter. I do that. I don't do it all the time, but I do it more often than not. So that's one of my reading superstitions. I don't know where that came from. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't mean I'm insane. Yeah, probably. Writing, sometimes, not always. Like when I'm on a roll, I don't realize what my word count is. Okay, I'm like on a document and I'm just banging away. Bing, 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 bing. That was me writing. Bing, 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 bing. And I get to a part, and I'm like, all right, what's the next part? And I happen to look down, and I'm at 21,000 words exactly, or 21,500. Something rounded up an exact number like that. And then I say, I'm done for the day with this story. I'm done. I'll work on this tomorrow. And that's one of those weird superstitions that I have. Now, again, I don't do it all the time because I don't realize a lot of the time that I've hit that, 1,000 mark or 1,500 mark, whatever it is. So but this morning I was writing a short story and I hit 1,000 words on this short story, and I still had ideas. And I'm like, you know what? Nope, I'm done for the day with this story. I'm going to move on to something else. Does it make sense? No, not at all. Could I finish that story today? Probably. I need about 3,000 words total on that story. So I could go, if I didn't realize I hit 1,000 words exactly, and I kept going, I would have looked down at some point and went, oh, I'm going to hit 1,500. Half of the story will be done. Still a little crazy, but I would do that. There are certain things on my desk that have to be in a certain place when I am home writing. Okay. And if, like, sometimes my wife, if she's home and like her laptop will be at her mom's. And so she's like, hey, I got to use your computer real quick. And I cringe, not because, oh my God, I don't want my wife to use my computer. I cringe because in my mind, don't move anything. Okay. Don't move anything. I wish I could show you the specific thing. The fan has got to be right here pointing at me at an angle. I have a calculator, old school calculator. Where's my handshake? Old school calculator. Got to have it in front of me because I'm old. I have my pile of notes, usually just lists of characters for each book or story I am working on. That has to be in a certain spot, and it has to be lined up in a certain spot between the laptop, okay, which is closed, and I have a monitor on top of the laptop, and my wireless keyboard. Those things are all lined up perfectly in the middle where my desks come together. So I have a monitor in front of me. I have a monitor to here. The monitor here has to line up when I lean like this. It has to line up with the wall behind it. This is how insane I am. Okay. These are my superstitions. If these things are not correct, I can't write. Okay. I have Post-it notes on my desk everywhere. I have index cards everywhere of certain things. So every day when when I take a break and I have lunch, so first off, I will have everything has to be written for me, okay? Even though I have spreadsheets, if it's a spreadsheet and I'm not looking at it, So I have a notebook. I've filled I don't know, 5 of these over the years of just each day and then my word counts. That way on Monday morning when I do for Patreon and Substack, the week that was, I can look at this. I don't have to go anywhere else. I can just physically look at this for the last week and tell you every word that I wrote. Okay. So this stays right here, directly under this second monitor, lined up perfectly. But then when I have lunch, I move it over off of the desk because I have a filing cabinet that is about the height of the desk. And so that book goes over onto the filing cabinet. Then when I'm done eating, this book immediately comes back in that position. Okay. There are other things that have to be on my desk. One of them is going to be this hotcake syrup from McDonald's. It's been on my desk for months. I would imagine it's still good, although it doesn't look like it's even moving. I'm not going to eat this, but it's going to stay on my desk forever. And then I have a little mini Cthulhu who sits on top of that and looks at me, kind of watches over me. And he has to be perfectly, like right now I'm fixing it. So these are, I don't know if these are writing superstitions or they are just, I'm insane and these are things that I have to have lined up and done. So there are things behind me on this shelf. My office is cluttered with stuff. There are things behind me on this shelf. And if I'm just sitting and I'm looking and I'm like, did somebody touch one of those mugs? Did somebody, when I put up something brand new, like there's a new anthology that I'm in, I move up here. Haas sent me a 4th of July card I put up there. There's our engagement pictures. There's some Cthulhu stuff. There's little me. There's some baseball cards that I was on, somebody made for, on and on. They all got to be lined up. They all got to be perfect, okay? Another thing that I do is when I finish a story, then I got to take a break, okay, for a day. So if I always try to set it up, I'm like, well, I think this story's almost done. I'm going to just finish this story today, okay? And so, I kind of have a schedule for the day. I guess another part of my superstition. So excuse me, I will, I'll try to finish that short story. And then I go, good. And now I'm done for the day. Okay. Because the worst thing mentally I want to do is sit down at like 9 o'clock, 9:30. I've done my coffee of the day video. I hope you've been watching those. And then I'm like, oh, I got 200 words left on this story, and I write the story, and I'm done. It's 10 o'clock. I'm done writing, and that's it for me. The superstition is I don't want to work on anything else. I definitely don't want to start anything else on that day. Something is completed. I'm done with it. Okay. That means I'm done with the writing. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go sit on the couch and watch Netflix the rest of the day, although it's not a bad idea. It means I'm going to do promotion. I'm going to do other work. I'm going to do emails. I'm going to do things that pertain to this career of writing, but I'm not going to sit down and write again that day. And I could. I very well could. I probably should. If I finish something in the morning, oh, frog in my throat. If I finish something in the morning, I should be writing in the afternoon, right? Does that make sense? But I don't. And I haven't in a long, long time. So I do a Post-it note every day. Been doing this for years. I've gone through, I don't know, thousands, right? Every 3 years, you're going through like 1,000, one per day. And I don't ever write it the day before because I don't know what time I'm going to get up. There's some days that I get up at like 6 in the morning, wide awake, boom. My brain turns on. You got to do this. You got to get this done, on and on. So, and it depends on the day. So, like, for instance, let's just say on a Monday. Let's say I get up at 8:30. I take my Rybelsus pill, fat. And without it, I would be even fatter. I have to wait 30 minutes. So in those 30 minutes, what I'll normally do is I will do something random. I pull up my baseball game out of the park 27. And I'll set up my rosters for the day. I'll set up my game. That takes 20, 25 minutes. Then I'll figure out which coffee I'm going to drink for the day for my coffee of the day video. Then I drink my coffee. Now it's 9 o'clock. I've uploaded my video and I say, you know what? From 9 to 10, I'm going to do emails. I write that on my Post-it note. 9 to 10 emails. 10 to 10:30, first writing sprint. Now the sprint's only 15 minutes. I do 15 minutes. But I always put in a half an hour because that gives me 15 minutes to, I don't know, finish my coffee, go to the bathroom, maybe play with my video game, my baseball game again, whatever. And then I'll do, okay, it's a Monday. So I'll do 10 to 10:30. No, I'll do none of this is getting cut. 10 to 10:30 is I don't write on a Monday. I do the week that was for my Patreon and for my Substack. I write that out. It takes about a half an hour. It basically, that is every day for the past 7 days. Okay. What I've written, word counts for those days, what I'm working on, what the story is, and also what I've eaten that day, what I've watched that day, anything exciting or unexciting has happened on those days. And I give a synopsis of my week. The week that was July 1st to 7th or whatever it would be. Okay. Yeah, 1st to 7th, for instance. I don't know if those, I'm just saying. And I'll write that up. And then 10:30 to 11 is a writing. Okay. And then usually at 11, so 11 to 12 is, I'll do something very specific. There might be something flagged in my email, for instance. Okay. And I've flagged it. And then I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to work on this. This is some new promotion thing, or this is whatever it is. And then I work on that until 12 o'clock, roughly 12 o'clock. Also in that hour, while I'm playing with the whatever, is usually when I'm making my lunch. And lunch for me is very usually as simple as possible. Hey, I'm going to throw in some boneless wings in the air fryer. I'm going to do some pierogies in the air fryer. I'm going to do chicken breast, whatever it is. Okay. Sometimes I get all crazy and I actually make a big meal, but usually not. And so I'm doing all that in that hour. 12 till about, I always mark off 12 till 2 is I do YouTube Live. So I'm on YouTube and I'm doing YouTube Live. And then after that, it's basically, it's usually, if I have something specific I know I have to do, like I have to record one of these videos, then I'll do, okay, from, 3 to 4, I'm going to do this video and set it up and blah, blah, blah. But most of the time, my afternoon, it just basically from like 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it says reading and nap. I'm old. I like to take a nap in the afternoon. It's good. 5 o'clock, I will get back in. I'll jump in back some emails, stuff like that. So I've written in the morning, usually. I've written live on YouTube. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? I want to finish a story or I want to work on something else. So I'll get some writing in usually from 5 to 6. That's usually between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. My wife will call on her way home from work. And then I'll be like, all right, and my day is now over. My work day is now over. I'll still look at emails and stuff like that. But without that Post-it note with my day written out, it's chaos. Okay, so it's a superstition I've had for about almost 10 years now. I've been doing this. There's some days that I don't use it. There's some days that I'm going to lunch with somebody, or I'm gonna go hang out, whatever. Saturdays I don't usually do them because my wife's usually home, and there's no writing on Saturdays usually for me. Now that also, it depends on what's going on. Sometimes she's out of town. Sometimes she's helping out a relative or whoever. So it varies, but usually I know ahead of time like that. So like there's, the second Thursday of every month, I hang out with a bunch of writers. We go to the Japanese buffet. The third Friday of every month, I hang out with my friend Andrea, also a writer. We hang out at the donut shop. Once a month, my buddy Chris, who's a filmmaker, we go to a different place in Jacksonville and we have lunch. And lunch with him is usually like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. We find a place, we just sit and we BS for hours. And it's great. And so I add those in there. So on those days, I'm not always doing a Post-it note, or I'm doing it if, hey, I don't have to leave the house till 11:30. I got to do my morning and then jot down no times but other things that I have to get done to check off. Okay, because that's also a big thing with me. If I don't write it down on a Post-it note where I can see it at any point, then I panic and I feel like I'm not going to get anything done. And so that's also the other superstition, is if I don't write it down, and also it's one of those, oh, I forgot to email so-and-so back. I will literally write it on the Post-it note and then email them back and then cross it off. Instead of just doing it, going, oh, I don't even need that on my list. No, I need it on the list. And then what happens the next morning? I rip the top one off, throw it in the garbage. I'll look at it and I'll go, oh, these are the things I did not do. So there's like a running one. I don't know if you can see that. There's a running one of stuff that is on it that I have to complete. Okay. And then some of these I look at and I'm like, YouTube stuff. Okay. I don't even know specifically what I need to do on that. Or, hey, I already did that one. Oh, I watched that, that kind of, oh, I did that video, whatever. So that's kind of where it all comes, it all happens. Hoo-ah. All right. Do you have any weird superstitions? Are you as insane as I am? Are there certain things that you have to do on a daily basis as a writer? Are there certain things that kind of get you through life? I have a lot of weird quirks and other stuff that has nothing to do with writing, we'll probably visit those on a later episode of my writing journey. Hope I haven't scared anybody away. People are like, oh, this guy is insane. I own it. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for watching 30 seconds or more of the advertising. Thank you for giving me more and more ideas for future videos. And also thank you just for watching, thank you for being a friend. As wonderful ladies once said.